when I've watched the show, I've watched you on social, watched your content, super entertaining. I feel like from the outside looking in, it could seem as if you're like Morgan Miss Moneybags McGraw, working every day, spending. But what I've noticed is you actually have a very like quiet, humble side to you, which I don't feel like you show a lot. I feel like you show like Beverly Hills Betty shopping all the time, but I've seen glimpses of it, and I'm going to tell you when I've seen it.
Okay, wow. Am I gonna get emotional in this podcast? Okay.
Well, one, I really love your relationship with your mom.
Thank you.
And there's things that I would notice on Rich Kids where it seemed like she was like a really sobering, grounding force, which made me really wonder like what her background was like.
Right.
One, for example, that really was moving to me was there was a scene in Rich Kids where you were trying on bridal dresses and your mom was crying and she was like, we're so fortunate. We're so fortunate. And I remember thinking like, do you remember this?
Yeah. I mean, so long ago, of course.
Yeah. And I remember getting even emotional myself because there was something there that wasn't really communicated on camera, but there was something there because she was just overwhelmed with gratitude. And I was like, this is not the average Beverly Hills spender.
She's so not that person. First of all, my mom's like from Switzerland. She grew up fine. She doesn't come from like mass wealth. And I think that she's a really grounded, not pretentious person. And I think that I just happened to grow up in that environment and we grew up well. But Dorothy was really the one on that show who came from like the serious money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's just been what I grew up around. Like I grew up around somebody that was like, we're really fortunate that we ended up in this position. Like you have a really great life. And I think the reason that you could see glimpses of that is that I always felt most fortunate because I had two people that.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're going to make cry.
Well, he's not here, but two people that supported me. So are we 5 minutes in? What's happening?
You seemed like you were raised really well. And I'm highlighting that for a second because I really do think it can seem like you're just a shopper because I feel like that's all you show us. But I know that there's more. Boy, it's entertaining. We love it.
But I also don't, what's really strange, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday in the car, like it's not even something intentional. And I feel like so much of my brand was put on me because even when we did not sign up to do a show called Rich Kids of Beverly Hills. Dorothy and I joined forces to do a show about each other. She actually was doing something with some other people. We joined forces. We were working with people. Nothing worked out. And then we went into this random casting of a producer's friend that we knew. And then they sold our reel, literally our reel to E. And they came on and we did a deal with them. And they were like, we're going to name the show this. So obviously we gave them tidbits about our lives that we didn't think twice about.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, this is what we got from it. So even when we all had to like go back to our families and be like, this is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I grew up in it, but it was like, I didn't grow up flying private or all of these crazy things that were happening. So I feel like that was sort of put on me. And then obviously as my life has grown and I've always been really into, high ticket items, I've always really loved fashion and I invest money in that. So it's like continued and spiraled upward.
Not to make you cry.
Oh God, I know. I can't believe I cried. I'm so pissed. It's fine.
People who are fans of you, we love you. We know that your father passed away not long ago. And
yes.
Just to keep his spirit alive,
yes.
Can you describe his personality? Because I've heard you talk about him, but you've never really talked about what he was like. I feel like your relationship with Susan is very much on Front Street.
I know. I don't know why that was.
What was your relationship like with your dad? Who was he outside of being your father?
He was very funny, had really good taste. An eye like you've never seen before, like was a builder, architect. Like, I mean, the space I grew up in was so gorgeous. Just like such a team player, such a good person, truly a good person, not gross, didn't fuck people over, like flawed and had his stuff that was very open, but we were very close. He was the best. He was truly the best. And like, we were all very close and they were great together. And so you couldn't ask for a better situation.
Is he from California?
Yeah, born and raised.
And your mom? No.
My mom is Swiss, but he lived in Paris and Spain. He was a classical guitarist. And so he lived in Spain and Paris for 12 years. My mom's Swiss. They met in LA, but that European bond, that's why I went to European school, the whole thing. He was wonderful. It's still a very surreal ending.
Yeah. I watched your pod with Valeria and I felt like that was the most.
Guys, I was not on planet Earth.
Why?
I had not processed. It was. So I'm glad I said.
And it happened very soon. Before you did that episode. That's right.
Yeah.
That's like one of the very few long form interviews that you have out there where you're like kind of just like open and vulnerable. Yes, you did call her daddy, but it was like, I think more playful.
And more pop. It was more, it was more, I don't want to say surface in a bad way, but it was more kind of hitting the top shelf stuff.
Yeah. But I really loved that interview with Valeria because I thought it was like super intimate.
Thank you. I haven't even watched it back because I was like, ooh, that was a disaster.
I don't know. I think it just lends so much information and context, like who you are as a person and like people who are really close with their parents. I know everybody has really complicated relationships with their families, but yeah, it's lovely. It really is lovely. And it's not something that you should like ever apologize for crying about.
I can't wait to get through it and not cry about it. More therapy. She's so tired of me. I can't call her again.
You shouldn't be rushing to get to a place where you're not crying about it. It is absolutely normal to cry about the death of your father.
I know. And it was just it's still so like, what? And every day's so normal, right? Like I get up, I have my kids, I have my mom. Our lives continue on. And then you're like, wait, this whole thing just happened not even 2 years. It's going to be 2 years in October. And the year before that, I was in a hospital every week.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a lot in the last 10 years.
No, death is wild. Death is absolutely wild. And it's like one day they're here, the next minute they're not. And then you're like, it feels like you're being punked with Ashton Kutcher. Like it's almost like a joke. Like it feels temporary.
Totally.
Like, oh, this is going to be over soon though. And you're like, oh shit, this is like my new reality.
Yes.